There's one primary reason that your B2B email campaigns are not getting replies, and I'm going to help you diagnose it in this video. I've managed multiple campaigns across multiple industries, and campaign performance comes down to the same couple things that you need to manage in order to make it work. I've had campaigns that have failed miserably, and I've had campaigns that have been huge successes for me and my clients. The beauty of a B2B email marketing campaign working is that it often takes just one customer to be profitable. And once you get it working and you have a winning campaign, it is just as easy to let it fly and get a ton of paying customers. But what happens when the campaign doesn't work? Let me break it down for you. First of all, if you have a reply rate that is below 1%, you need to pause the campaign and you need to take a look at what is going on. A lot of the time, if your reply rate is less than 1%, the first thing you have to check is, unfortunately, deliverability. Deliverability is just a term that summarizes how well your emails are actually placing inside the inboxes of the customers you want to reach versus landing in spam. Poor deliverability means that you are going to land in spam. Good deliverability means that you are landing in the inbox. A couple things you want to check for deliverability. Number one, you need to have your technical setup for all of your mailboxes. Your SPF, your DKIM, your DMARC records, they all need to be put for every single one of your mailboxes. Number two, you need to make sure that they've done at least 2 weeks of warm-up. If you don't know what email warm-up is, then basically the idea is that you want the email service provider to think that you are a seasoned mailbox doing regular correspondence to all of your peers. They don't often want cold email campaigns happening on their mailboxes, so they have safeguards. If you are a brand new account and you start sending hundreds of emails from that account, they're going to flag it because they're going to think this is spammy behavior. So you take 2 weeks to send regular correspondence to other mailboxes that are sending you regular correspondence, and you're clicking and engaging, and that helps build your mailbox reputation. Now you're probably thinking, do I actually need to do that all myself? The answer is no. Just look up email warm-up services. You'll see that a lot of the times email sequencers like Instantly or SmartLead offer this for free. You'll see that most of the time email sequencers like SmartLead, Instantly, and Zazu offer this for free once you put their mailbox into their sequencer. It's part of an incentive to get them to use the platform, but it absolutely works and it's absolutely necessary. Now, assuming you have the right technical setup for your mailbox, and then assuming that you've done the proper warm-up for your emails, then you have to start taking a look at things on the campaign level. The first place to look is actually not in the actual campaign, but it's in the lead list that you uploaded to the campaign. A lot of the times, people don't realize that their offer is being sent to the wrong person. If you have an offer that is about cost savings for enterprises and you are sending it to the chief product officer at a bunch of enterprises, your campaign is probably not going to do that well. However, once you find the right audience segment and the right titles for it, then you're going to have a winner. Conversely, make sure that the person you are sending your message to actually can make a decision on it. If you go and you are emailing sales reps telling them that you need to switch over to your brand new CRM, they don't have any control over that. They're not going to do it. So make sure that you go high enough up the chain so that it's relevant to the person that you are talking to. And here's the thing that most people miss is that you might actually have the right targeting, but a lot of times people simply forget to clean their lead list. So you might go and you might get your leads from a certain database, and that database will give you a bunch of emails, but you don't actually know if those emails are up to date or if they exist anymore, because a lot of times people move companies and you need to have current data. So I would recommend using a tool like Million Verifier that can actually check to make sure that these emails are legit. And if you send a message to them, that it will actually land in a mailbox because it's not deleted or gone or going to bounce. Also, if you are sending messages to a bunch of mailboxes that don't exist anymore, you're going to hurt your mailbox reputation. ESPs, email service providers, will see that and they will start to mark your mailbox as a spammy mailbox and put you in spam. Now, assuming you have your technical setup right, you've done the email warm-up, and your lead list is working, and your campaign is still not delivering, then you need to take a look at your offer. And this is where you have to do some research into the psychology of the person you're reaching out to. Assuming you've done the research and you are 100% certain that you are talking to the right person at that company, then you need to figure out why your offer is not resonating. A lot of the times, if you are getting a reply rate less than 1%, it's probably something closer to the technical side of things. You need to be reaching out to the right people, or you need to get your deliverability set up. But if it is below 1%, then it's worth taking a look at some of the campaign copy as well. Oftentimes shorter scripts work, and really pain targeted messaging works really well. When I say pain targeted messaging, I mean finding out what the pain for that customer is. Why would they want your product? What problem are they trying to solve? What is in the back of their head that they are trying to solve week in, week out for their business? Are you doing a good job of framing your problem for them? Are you telling them that they're going to have 99% reliability when really what they would want is to speed up their project timelines by 2x? It's often rare that you have good deliverability and will still get less than a 1% reply rate. If you do, there might be something else going on. But if it does get to that point, then what you want to do is make sure that you have the right messaging going to the right people. And I would recommend shorter copy. It's just better for spam filters. Then there's the positive reply rate. This is the money metric. You want to get this as high as possible, because if people are replying, that's one thing. But if people are replying positively, that's a whole nother thing entirely. You want to do your best job in getting this number to be as high as possible. Now, reply rate typically is a deliverability metric. But positive reply rate, now that has everything to do with your offer. And that is part of what we just discussed and how you position it, how you're sniffing out the pain for that person. The things that I would check for is, number one, that you're saying the right thing to the right audience. You're talking to a CFO like a CFO. You're talking to a product officer like a product officer. It helps to use industry jargon that they're familiar with. It helps to be able to identify with KPIs that they have. For example, if you talk to an e-commerce brand and you said, hey, we're here to help you scale your paid. Every e-commerce brand knows that you're talking about their paid media buying. But when you say paid, it signals that you're already well versed with their problem, their industry. You know what you're doing there. Sometimes it helps to frame the problem as well by offering some relevant information. And I say relevant because there's a difference between relevance and personalization. You can tell them that you realize that they went to Michigan and you always wanted to go to the stadium there for a sports game, but that's not going to hit as hard as telling them that, hey, I noticed you're hiring for this role and I think I have a solution that can help you for the problem you're trying to fix by hiring that person. Obviously, you need to clean that up in your copy, but that's the psychology you need to employ. Doing those kinds of changes will help increase your positive reply rate. Every email should signal the problem that they're having, the solution that you have, and it should make sense to them what you're offering. I hate getting emails that are just convoluted, full of industry jargon that has nothing to do with anything. A long email that's abstract, that's filled with corporate platitudes is just not going to close. The reality is most people just want to be spoken to in plain English. They might go and speak out in meetings and in investor calls in the abstract corporatization, but what you need to do is make it super easy for them to understand and digest what you're offering them. So make sure that the email is clearly explaining what it is that you offer. An easy metric, an easy test to see if your email is good is simply read it and ask yourself if you would reply to it. If you wouldn't reply to it, why would they? And while the offer is going to do 80% of the pulling for your campaign, case studies speak volumes. You can oftentimes explain your offer, explain how it works, and signal that it works just by using one case study as your email. There's a million places for your B2B cold email campaign to break, but 90% of the time, it's going to be somewhere along the things that I just outlined. Make sure your setup is correct. Make sure you're talking to the right people. Make sure your offer is good and it makes sense to the people that you're reaching out to. If you nail those things, then more likely than not, you will have fixed your campaign and you'll be getting replies. If you are looking to scale your outbound and start getting a message out to every person in your total addressable market at least once a quarter, then go ahead and book a call with me. My link is in the description. We'll identify your segment, build the strategic messaging for it, and launch a campaign that will be able to scale your efforts as if you had a team of 500 sales development reps under you.